For more than a century, people paid money to stare at those they called freaks, men without limbs, women with beards, and bodies that seemed impossible by ordinary human standards. They were advertised as monsters, displayed like attractions, and treated more as merchandise than as people. But behind every poster was a real human being with a life story. These are 26 true cases of people who lived under some of the harshest spotlights in history. Some suffered exploitation, some found fame, and a few managed to keep their dignity despite everything. None of them chose the bodies they were born with, yet the world turned them into spectacles. Before we begin, comment below which story shocked or moved you the most. Number 1. The Invulnerable Man. Arnold Henskes, better known by his stage name Miran Dejo, was born in Rotterdam in 1912. In the late 1940s, he became famous across Europe for a performance that seemed medically impossible. On stage, swords and steel foils were pushed completely through his body, straight through the abdomen, without blood, without screams, and without visible injury. Audiences believed it had to be an illusion. Doctors who examined him were not so sure. In 1947, Dejo underwent medical tests at the University Hospital of Zurich. X-rays taken during the procedure showed the blade passing through his body between vital organs. Astonishingly, there was almost no bleeding and no major internal damage. Doctors admitted they had no clear anatomical explanation. Dejo himself believed he possessed spiritual protection. He claimed his abilities proved the human body was capable of far more than science understood. Despite his fame, he lived modestly and often gave away money from his performances to assistants and charities. For years, he survived acts that should have killed any normal person. Then, in May 1948, he attempted something different, swallowing a steel needle as part of an experiment. Doctors warned him not to do it, but he insisted. Days later, he developed severe abdominal pain and a dangerous infection. The needle had punctured his internal organs. Emergency surgery failed to save him. Miran Dejo died on May 26, 1948, at just 35 years old. The man who survived swords through his body was ultimately killed by a simple sewing needle. Number 2. The Human Fountain. Ali was an Egyptian performer who stunned audiences in America during the early 20th century with a talent doctors struggled to explain. He could regurgitate liquids at will, not just vomiting randomly, but controlling the direction, force, and timing with shocking precision. During performances, he swallowed different liquids one after another: water, milk, wine. Then he expelled them separately in the exact order he chose. Doctors confirmed the liquids truly entered his stomach. There were no hidden containers or tricks. His most dangerous act involved fire. Ali would first drink water, then swallow kerosene. Moments later, he would spray the kerosene onto flames to create a burst of fire, then instantly extinguish it using the water stored inside his stomach. One mistake would have caused the kerosene to ignite inside his body. He never made a mistake. Ali also swallowed coins, live fish, and even entire bowls of water containing fish, returning everything in reverse order while the audience watched in silence. Doctors could never fully explain how he gained such extraordinary control over his digestive system. Ali died in Ohio in 1937. Before his death, he claimed he trained himself from childhood by practicing controlled vomiting until he mastered it completely. No one who tried to imitate him ever succeeded. Number 3. The Lobster Boy. Grady Stiles Jr. was born in 1937 with ectrodacty, a rare condition that fused his fingers and toes into claw-like shapes. Because of his appearance, circus promoters called him the Lobster Boy. He couldn't walk normally and moved using the strength of his arms, which became incredibly powerful over time. Inside the circus, he was famous. Outside of it, his life was dark. Friends and relatives described him as violent, abusive, and unpredictable. Alcohol worsened his behavior, and his family lived in fear of him for years. In 1978, his daughter planned to marry a man named Jack Lane. Grady strongly opposed the relationship. On the night before the wedding, he shot and killed Lane with a shotgun. Shockingly, the court acquitted him. The defense argued that imprisoning him would financially destroy his dependent family. Years later, the cycle of violence ended in tragedy. In 1992, Grady's wife hired a teenager to murder him. His own son helped plan the killing. During the trial, family members revealed years of abuse and threats. This time, no jury showed sympathy. Grady Stiles Jr. died the same way as his daughter's fiancé, from a gunshot wound. Number 4. The Half-Man. Johnny Eck was born in Baltimore in 1911 without the lower half of his body due to a rare condition called sacral agenesis. His twin brother, Robert, was born completely healthy. The brothers remained inseparable throughout their lives. Johnny moved using only his hands and arms with astonishing speed and agility. By childhood, he could perform acrobatics most fully able people couldn't manage. At 18, he was discovered by a circus talent scout and soon became famous. In 1932, he appeared in the controversial film Freaks, playing himself. Unlike actors using makeup or costumes, Johnny needed no special effects. His existence alone amazed audiences. Outside the circus, he painted, performed magic tricks, and lived quietly with his brother in Baltimore. But tragedy struck late in life when thieves broke into their home, assaulted both brothers, and stole treasured possessions. Johnny never fully recovered from the trauma. He died in 2000 at age 88. Robert passed away only months later. They entered the world together and left it almost the same way. Number 5, The Owl Man. Martin Lorello, born in Germany in 1885, became famous for something almost impossible to believe. He could rotate his head nearly 180 degrees backward. Not a trick. Not mirrors. Not stage effects. Doctors who studied him concluded that the movement should have been anatomically impossible. Yet audiences watched him smoke cigarettes, drink, and hold conversations while his face pointed backward over his shoulder. He performed for years at Coney Island and later with Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. Lorello rarely explained how he learned the ability. Some believed it came from years of training. Others thought he possessed an unusual spinal structure. No definitive explanation was ever found. He died in New York in 1955, taking the mystery with him. Number 6, Half of Everything. Josephine Joseph was among the strangest attractions of the 1920s and 1930s. One side of the body appeared masculine, muscular arm, broad shoulder, sharp facial features. The other side appeared feminine, softer curves, delicate structure, and a visible breast. The effect was so convincing that audiences couldn't decide whether they were looking at one person or two halves combined into one body. To this day, historians still debate whether Josephine had a genuine biological condition or whether the appearance was created through makeup, posture, and physical training. Very little is known about the person behind the performance. Even the real name remains uncertain. After appearing briefly in the 1932 film Freaks, Josephine disappeared from public records completely. No confirmed date of death exists. Only photographs and rumors remain.